Wuli is. Please use your microphone.
I'm saying after the elections, we said that minister, the Minister of Justice, should have withdrawn all his bills and reintroduced them. And what we put there is 2021, and we've been treating the bills as (2021), not 2020.
To be taken to task, and therefore his businesses were suspended and put aside by Parliament. And in fact, he was supposed to be reprimanded, to come to Parliament to be reprimanded. But I remember when I came in, I took a decision on some of the pending bills that were there, that they can be carried forward to the next one. Amendments to be done will only come into effect after we have passed the bill. Yeah, okay. Okay, so thank you very much. will check with the voicemail. What the table office is telling me is that yes, you did call him, and that you promised to call me. All right, we move
sentence. The
standing orders. Today is questions for oral, limited supplementary questions to 7 in total. 2 for the honorable member asking the question, and 5 among other members. Oral answers. Clerk, can we proceed?
Questions for oral answers. His Excellency the Vice President.
Thanks. Your Excellency the Vice President, you may take the podium. Question number 001 of 2025.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Vice President. Thank you for coming. Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency the Vice President inform this August Assembly, since the Gambia assumed the chairmanship of the OIC, what specific developments and initiatives has the nation benefited from, both domestically and internationally?
Save people their minds are okay.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform this August Assembly that the hosting of the conference and inherent chairmanship of His Excellency the President has raised the image of the Gambia. The successful hosting has resulted in an increase in demand in international conferences in the Gambia. After the hosting, there has been an increase in the number of investors from OIC countries requesting to invest in the Gambia.
Thank you, Vice President. Are you in a position to be able to name at least 2 of those investors that are interested to invest in the Gambia post-OIC conference?
Honorable Speaker, at this point, I cannot name, but I can confirm to you that even myself, I have been approached. I'm requesting what type of investment we can make in this country. If you, honorable members, can recall that alongside the conference, there was also an investment forum that was held, which was very, very successful. Thank you.
Vice President, former and the previous chairman of the OIC at times attempt to mediate conflicts in the Islamic world. Whether the government of the Gambia as chairman of OIC attempt to do that in any of the Islamic world.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, point of.
What is the problem? All these members, calm down. Don't make the place ungovernable, please.
The place ungovernable.
Who? Suleiman.
Honorable Speaker, the decision to intervene is always dictated by the OIC Secretariat itself, which is in Jeddah. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, since assuming the chairmanship, did our president, as the chairperson, convey any other meeting apart from the OIC summit in the Gambia?
Honorable Speaker, just as I said earlier, all that program is determined by the OIC Secretariat in Jeddah. It's not determined by the chairman of the conference. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Vice President. In your response, you have talked about investment. What are some of the areas of interest for these investors to invest in? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, at this point, I cannot say exactly, but like I said, all those investors that came, we have been directed to GAIPA. Maybe GAIPA can provide the answers to those questions. But generally, it's the whole economy of the country. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Brikama North and Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I believe the Assembly should be well informed. Looking at the question posed by the Honorable Member for Latikunda Sabegi, it's quite very specific, and therefore will require specific response. And that is to say, what specific development and initiatives has the nation benefited from both domestically and internationally? And the response advanced by the minister citing numerous investment. That is
On a point of order. Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
numerous investment.
Point of order. All right. May we hear the point of order? Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm rising on order 43.3. The time taken to ask a supplementary question shall be no longer than 1 minute. And the member is making a statement. You are here to ask a question. Ask your supplementary question and resume your seat. No, ask your question and resume your seat.
Honorable, take a seat. Take your seat. Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal, you have your own time. Honorable Minority Leader, you have your own time. And the Honorable Speaker has his own time. And I think the Speaker's time prevails. It's unfortunate I did not pay note to that timing. But I will now be timing when you start and when you finish. Honorable Lower Salum, what you calling attention?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. The the motion raised by the member. The order that he raised by the member. No, the minority leader is making a statement, neither going directly to a question, supplementary question. He has to take a supplementary question, not to lecture us.
Honorable, you see, I think the whole thing is surrounded by time. If you have 1 minute, it's 1 minute you can give your question, a small preamble and your question. If it exceeds that, it does not go. Now it's unfortunate that I was not timing that 1 minute. So what I'm saying is, let's hear back the question. Let him repeat his question. And this time I will time. And I will time anybody who is speaking.
I have laid my foundation and I'm now onto the question. In your response, Honorable Minister, you did mention numerous investments were benefited. Pertaining to the parent question specifically, can you tell the National Assembly what are those numerous investments?
Honorable Speaker, I want to remind this august body, conferences are held, one, to promote the country and also to encourage investment. We don't hold conferences for development. Of course, you take the opportunity to develop your infrastructure, which is what we did with the OIC. And like I said in my response, when the conference was held, at least I think half of the delegates that came, that was their first time coming to the Gambia. That means that the Gambia has been exposed in many countries. All right. Secondly, like I said, I don't have the numbers now, but I'm sure if you go to GAIPA can tell us since then how many investors have approached them. Personally, in my office, I know I have been approached by some from Algeria, from some other countries in the OIC countries. So that is basically, like I said, and again, I have had discussion with ECOWAS since the organization of the OIC. ECOWAS had decided that most of their conferences will be held in the Gambia. That is a success of the hosting of the conference.
Honorable member for observing who? Observing what? If it is observation, I think it is left to the Vice President to allow you to observe or not to allow you.
And that is not a fair rule. The Honorable Speaker, what I wanted to observe is that the Vice President is directing us to GAIPA to find the investment. That is not our rule. This question was directed to the Vice President. The onus lies on the Vice President to do his homework. Whatever we requested, we get, but he cannot direct us to GAIPA.
Honorable Speaker, I did not direct the Assembly to the GAIPA. My response was, I did not have the numbers now, but I can get to GAIPA to give the numbers, as was asked. The supplementary question. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member for Busumbala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, Honorable Vice President, you did make mention of various international conferences that were held after the OIC. Can you tell us specifically the interested areas on which these conferences are held that will benefit the Gambia?
Honorable Speaker, like I mentioned, I know that I had discussion with ECOWAS, and they told me that since that conference, most of their conferences now will be held in the Gambia, because this is the only special purpose for conference center in the sub-region. There are other conferences that are coming up, I think in the next few weeks. Even next week, we have an international conference that is going to be held here. And there are many others which definitely I don't think I'm in a position to mention at this point.
Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, after sending those investors to GAIPA, is it not your ministry's responsibility to find out with GAIPA which areas of these investors are interested in?
Honorable, what did you say? Can I hear you? Hear you?
On Your Excellency, I said after sending those investors to GAIPA, is it not your ministry's responsibility to find out with GAIPA which area of investors, which area of investment of these investors are interested in?
Point of order. Point of order. Yes, Honorable Member for Sabah Sangyal, point of order.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on point of order, order 38J. A question fully answered shall not be asked again during the same session. The Honorable Vice President has already answered that question. Thank you.
Yeah, I am of the opinion that that question has been answered. And equally also, I am also of the opinion that that was not what the Vice President said. So the point of order is withheld. Question number 002 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabeji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Vice President. Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency the Vice President inform this Assembly, this August Assembly, whether the President has considered measures to cut costs of governance, including downsizing of the ministerial position and presidential advisors?
Honorable Speaker, I would want to inform this August Assembly. At the moment, the President has not considered the downsizing of ministries and the reduction of presidential advisors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Presidential advisors do add value to the office of the President. That is how the office of the President operates. Can you tell us, Honorable Speaker,
Point of order, please. Point of order.
can you please address a nominated member,
Point of order.
Fatima Kejaura, please? She's
You don't, please,
Yes.
honorable members, allow people to honorable the floor, please. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, you cannot prevent any member from saying what he or she wants to say. You reserve the right to counter what a member may say or to stand up for on a point of order or any other thing. So please, let's take patience. If you have point of order, yes, just rise to that point of order. Honorable member for, is it Nyanija? Yes, Nyanija,
thank you very much,
your
Honorable
point of
Speaker.
order.
Honorable Speaker, I don't know how some of these questions escape your good office, but look at order 38G. A question shall not be asked for the purpose of obtaining an expression of opinion or for the opinion, the solution of an abstract case or otherwise to a hypothetical proposition. This main principal question here is just rather than fortunate for trying to express opinion or propositions or whatever. I think the question should not be accepted at the first instance.
Honorable, yourself, your noises will not be. Honorable, please. Honorable, it looks like we are in a kindergarten school. We are not. let's be more responsible. Let's be more tolerant. And we have processes and procedures in Parliament. You don't just shout. Honorable, that standing order does not hold water. This is a specific question, no assumptions. The Honorable Vice President is standing in for the President. The question is asked. The Vice has answered the first question. Now, there is a supplementary, I think. He's about to put a supplementary. Now, let's listen to the supplementary and let's see whether it is in order or not. Please, can you continue with your supplementary?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Vice President, I said the purpose of presidential advisors is to add value to the office of the President. It's daily operation. How frequent do the President meet with the presidential advisors?
That is substantive.
I have one more. Speaker, I don't even finish my question. You say substantive. It's like you overlap.
Honorable, you don't ask questions. Please continue, or you sit down and take somebody else. Yes, please do that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vice President, in the case of the special presidential advisor, what specific value he brought to the office of the President since his appointment?
That is substantive.
It's not substantive, Honorable Speaker. The person is talking about presidential advisor. You're talking substantive about that. No, substantive.
Honorable member for Jajambu.
Honorable Speaker, my supplementary is not substantive, please. The current person is talking about it is substantive.
Something that is not
to make the determination of the Speaker.
Speaker, point of order.
You see, this is what I said. You are one of the few here who has read law. We expect you to acquaint yourself with the standing orders better and to know it better. Your behavior does not match the standing orders of this assembly. Adjust yourself to it, please. It does. Please take your seat.
Point of order, please.
You are out of order, please.
Point of order.
Yes, Honorable Member for Nyanija.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, order 8.3. The Speaker's ruling shall be final on all questions of procedure. If you want to challenge it, there is a process you do, but you should not be arguing about this. Your ruling is final.
You know, he should have known that. It's unfortunate. That's why sometimes his behavior, I said, does not match what we do in Parliament. I think the minority leader has a lot of work to do. Honorable Member for Janyambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Vice President, I think the question is just beyond presidential advices. What measures does this government put in place to cut costs reflecting on our budget? Thank you.
Substantive question. This question is specific to these things. Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, would you mind to advise the President and the Cabinet to downsize some of the embassies and the ministries to cut the costs?
Substantive question. Honorable Member for Busumbala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, if you look at the parent question, it did make mention of the ministerial positions too. Could you advise the President so that the ministerial position could be downsized? Some ministerial position could be joined.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Point of order who? Opinion.
Yes. Honorable Speaker, order 38.
Yes. Sorry, Opinion. Opinion, just hold on. Somebody is saying, Honorable Speaker. Yes, Opinion, may we hear your point of order?
Honorable Speaker, order 38J, a question fully answered shall not be asked again during the same section. Honorable Vice President has said it clearly that the President have no intention of downsizing the number of presidential advisors and the ministry.
Yes, the Honorable Vice President has answered that specific question very clearly, that the President does not have any intention of downsizing it.
Speaker. Yes.
What are you standing on?
Yes, I'm saying, no. No, I want to observe you.
Honorable Member for Brikama North.
Honorable Speaker, taking the Honorable Vice President on the parent question, the President has considered measures, whether the President has considered measures to cut cost of governance, and then proceeded with the ministerial position. And the response given by the minister is limited to downsizing the ministry and then the advisors. How about the other part of the question? Whether the President has considered the
other part of the question?
That is, whether the President has considered measures to cut costs of governance. That is punctuated.
Honorable, yes, that is what is stated, but the cost, what he attached to that cutting down the cost is ministers and the vice advisor.
That is inclusive. That is one part. Inclusive is one part. It's one part.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Savage, that's your last chance. Please. Honorable Member for Latrikunda Savage, please don't talk when you are not given the floor. This is your last chance, please. Don't be shouting at people here, please. All right. Yes, can you, Honorable Member, can you continue?
I'm saying, including the downsizing of the ministerial position and president advisor, that's part of it. Are you the Speaker? Chief Whip. You are Chief Whip, not the Speaker. Honorable Speaker, look at this question very carefully. Inclusive means including that one. It's not limited to only ministerial positions.
Point of order.
Agreement.
Point of order.
The agreement.
Point of order. Point of order. Honorable members, the honorable member's question is, could His Excellency the Vice President inform this August Assembly whether the President has considered the downsizing of ministerial positions under presidential advisors?
No. Speaker, you jumped something there.
Yes. Yeah, I observe it. Honorable members, point of order. Point of? Okay, land. Then are you rising to what?
You know, initially you asked me to sit down because I was not rising on a point of order. This
Of order.
yes,
I would definitely hear that.
yes, 43. 43.1. Supplementary questions may be put for the purpose of elucidating an oral answer. Honorable Speaker, most of the questions that you are ruling out, they are from the answers being said by the Vice President. And if you look at the question, they are emanated from the parent question. So don't rule them out. Please.
May I advise that you go and read your standing order better? No. I mean, go and read the whole standing order. Don't go, just not be picking it up and read. Go and read it and avail yourself with the standing order. Can you read 43.4? You see? So that's why I said you go, and that is not a point of order. What you are saying is not a point of order. So, honorable members, let me just clear this minorities issue. I have before me the submission from the office of the Vice President, the question and the answer. I have another questions raised by honorable members from the table office. Now, I try to make the comparison between the two. There is a difference. What I read was the one from the office of the Vice President, response. They put the question and they put the response. But what the table office sent to them is slightly different from what they picked up. Their own question is, Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency the Vice President inform this August Assembly whether the President has considered the downsizing of ministerial positions and presidential advisors? In the question that is submitted to them by the table office, reads, Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency the Vice President inform this August Assembly where the President has considered measures to cut costs of governance, including the downsizing of ministerial positions and presidential advisors? That's the actual text that was sent to the office of the Vice President. And the response given omits the one for measures to cut cost of governance. The response was only downsizing ministers and presidential advisors. So, Your Excellency, the question put now is, the Assembly, whether the President has considered measures to cut cost of governance, is the other question pending.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First of all, I think I have to apologize because when the questions came, I was out of the country, and the question that I have responded to is what reached my desk. That other part did not reach my desk. My apologies for that.
Okay. Honorable members, now, Honorable Member for Bakau. Honorable Member for Bakau. Honorable Member for Bakau will step in for him.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, during the last State of the Nation address, the President promised to distribute 180 tractors to farmers before the start of 2024 rainy season. Could His Excellency, the Vice President, inform this August Assembly as to why this promise was not implemented?
Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform this August Assembly that implementation of this project is on as the procurement process is in high gear. Advertisement was done and the two contractors were awarded, namely Yona Group and Gash. Yona Group already placed an order and the goods are expected to arrive in the Gambia in June. In the same vein, Gash is in China for the same mission.
Thank you. No further question. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, the expected date of implementation is?
I think there were some questions about this before, and there was some delay in the procurement process. It was launched, withdrawn, and relaunched again. That is the main cause of the delay.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Withdrawn, please.
Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, you've made mention about the withdrawal that may cause the delay. Could you clearly explain to us what caused the withdrawal? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, like I said, that was a parliamentary question that was asked. It was launched. I cannot recall now, but I know that it was asked and I responded that they had launched the procurement process. There were some issues. It was withdrawn and they relaunched again. And then these two companies won the bid. Okay.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Vice President, this procurement process you refer to launch and relaunch, were they launched and relaunched under the office of the President or under the Ministry of Agriculture?
All this procurement process is under the Ministry of Agriculture.
Honorable Member for Brikama North and Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, you said the implementation is on the high gear and that the goods are expected to arrive in June. Specifically, can you tell us how many tractors are involved?
180 tractors are involved, and like I said, it's divided between the two.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President, for those answers and for ably responding to honorable members' questions. Thank you very much. Clerk, may we proceed?
Questions for oral answers. Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment.
No, but I don't know. You can't let go back in Kialin and take. Honorable members, questions for oral answers? Sorry. The Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. You may take the podium. Questions for which due notices were given to to the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 031 by the honorable member for Serekunda West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment inform this Assembly, since the start of the recruitment exercise for migrants, how many of our young Gambian applicants have successfully gotten recruited and issued visa to travel to the following countries? 1, Spain; 2, Saudi Arabia; 3, United Arab Emirates.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, Honorable Member for Serekunda West constituency, for that question. I wish to inform the Assembly that only the first 2 are currently being implemented. That is the Spanish agreement and the Saudi Arabia agreement. The implementation of the agreement with the United Arab Emirates is yet to start. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, 30 domestic workers have been recruited and issued visas under the agreement for domestic workers to the Saudi Arabia labor market. 22 out of this number are already in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to start their employment contracts. A second batch of 8 domestic workers who have already gotten their visas and air tickets are now waiting for clearance from government to travel to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Regarding Spain, I would like to inform this Assembly that the recruitment process has started with the call for submission of applications issued from the 3rd February 2025 to 14 February 2025. The pre-selection of qualified candidates for interview to select the most qualified and suitable candidates for the available jobs in Spain is in progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister inform the August Assembly what is holding the UAE's process?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Member for Serekunda West constituency, the UAE agreement, we've tried to trigger the movement between the 2 governments for this to be implemented. We have written a reminder on 3 occasions through the Embassy of the Gambia. The ratification instruments have been shared with them, but we have not gotten any concrete reaction from their end for recruitment to commence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister also inform us what actually or why is the clearance for the 8 that are already issued visa, the clearance now is on the side of the government? Why? Why are they not cleared?
When the answer was being prepared, this was the situation. The clearance was withheld to allow them to put together a couple of qualified people to travel so that they do not travel in 1s and 2s and 3s. They go in groups because of the inexperience that the Gambian migrants actually are experiencing, traveling. Some of them are traveling for the first time. Some of them are going to Saudi for the first time, so that they go in groups for the embassy also given their staff level to be able to receive them and integrate them properly. That was the reason. But as we speak, these 8 have already been scheduled to travel next week. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Brikama North and Minority Leader.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister did inform that 30 were recruited already, 22 are in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, 8 waiting for their visas. Can the Honorable Minister later provide to this August Assembly the list of these persons involved that have benefited from this package?
And Honorable, that one is substantive. Like, put it in question.
Okay.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, do you have any intention to revive this decision of exporting our young youths into these European countries?
Substantive. Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Yes, thank you very much, yes, Madam Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, can you provide data to this Parliament of the people being recruited?
And he should say so.
Thought I should wait for clearance from the desk. I can go. Okay. All right. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Member for Badibu Central. The ministry is keeping comprehensive data on everyone who is traveling. And if we are required to provide to the Assembly the data on those who are traveling, we will do so. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Busumbala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you did make mention of application being open for that of Spain, and already applications has been done. Applicants has been filing their application. Can you tell us, within that period, how many applicants have filed for that of Spain's agreement?
Substantive. Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, as you know, thousands of youth have applied for passports and they have paid for these passports in anticipation that they will apply for initial stage. So what contingency plan does your ministry have for the rest of the jobless youths that have qualified?
Substantive. Question number 032 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Honorable Speaker, in light of the recent ratified Gambia-Spain Circular Migration Agreement, the MOU, could the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment clarify to this August Assembly what legally binding instruments ensure the protection of Gambian migrants' rights under this non-of contract and human rights, given that the MOU is not enforceable under international law?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul Central Constituency, for this question. Honorable Speaker, MOUs are not legally binding like bilateral labor agreements, but they do indicate a commitment to work together in good faith. Because of this commitment, the two countries, that's Gambia and Spain, signed this agreement. The Gambia and Spain are members of the International Labour Organization, ILO, and have signed and ratified a number of conventions to ensure protection of workers in each other's countries, regardless of the status of the 98 rights to collective bargaining, Convention 29, forced labor, Convention 105, abolition of forced labor, Convention 182, worst forms of child labor, Convention 138, minimum wage, Convention 100, equal remuneration, and Convention 111, discrimination or employment and occupation. Spain has gone further to ratify Convention 155 and 187 on occupational safety and health to ensure that workers serve in decent working conditions and environments. They equally ratified Convention 131 on minimum wage to ensure workers are paid a minimum wage. They also ratified Convention 81 and 129, labor inspection, to monitor compliance with labor laws in the farms. Regarding exploitation by recruitment agencies, I would like to share with the Assembly that this agreement is between the two governments and agencies are not involved in this process. Therefore, there is no private intermediary. The government of the Gambia is recruiting for the government of Spain, not an individual farmer or employer. Lastly, workers recruited in the Gambia will sign employment contracts before leaving for the Kingdom of Spain, and those contracts will be binding. In the event of default, parties to the contract can sue one another. Thank you.
No further question.
Supplementary?
No.
These are the supplementaries for this.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, could you inform this August Assembly your ministry's plan to stop sending youths on domestic works as it is entailed in some of these labor migration agreements?
You better ask it.
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Minister, just hold on a bit. Honorable Member for Kiang West, can you repeat your question?
Honorable Minister, could you kindly inform this August Assembly your ministry's plan to stop sending youths on domestic works as it entails in some of these labor migration?
So that one is substantive. Latrikunda Sabigi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, in 2020, I traveled to Kuwait and I met two Gambian workers there. Their story was they were not the job they were offered when they were in the Gambia was not the case when they went there. So for this particular issue, do your ministry verify all the job offered and the recruiter before Gambians youths live here?
No. Yes, Honorable. Yes. Honorable, I think that was a principal question and it was answered. Even his question almost the same. The member for Banjul Central, the same. You were not listening. He answered fully. You were not listening. You were doing something else. Honorable Member for Sabak Sanya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, what control mechanisms do you have in place from the Gambian side with regards to some of these conventions for which Spain and the Gambia has relied on to sign this MOU you made mention of? Thank you.
Before your point of order, just give me a chance. Honorable Member for Sabak, can I hear your question again?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. The Honorable Minister said that the Gambia and Spain relied on some conventions to sign this memorandum of understanding. Now, I am asking the Honorable Minister, what control mechanisms do they have in place?
Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Specific convention, which is Convention for Laborers in Spain. Thank you.
Substantive. Back of the answer he gave to that gentleman. He's not talking, you are not going into the details of those ones. If you want to know those things, write, please, send questions to him. Nyanija. Honorable Member for Nyanija.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm withdrawing because my issue is at risk.
Question number 033.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and businesses that were selected by the government or amount foreign currency sold at the Ministry of Trade by the Central Bank of the Gambia to enable them import food commodities in the Gambia?
Jambure. Honorable Speaker, the government of the Gambia has not selected any business to benefit from any foreign currency withdrawal from the country's international banks in the domestic market. During this period, most of the importers also found it difficult to access foreign exchange or forex in order to pay their suppliers due to shortages of forex in the market. As such, some of the Gambian importers of essential commodities requested the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment to support their access to forex in order to pay their suppliers. To ensure the continued availability of essential commodities and to avoid any potential shortage, the ministry forwarded such requests to the Central Bank of the Gambia and requested facilitation to access forex from commercial banks or NBFIs, or in other words, non-bank financial institutions, in order for the businesses to settle their suppliers. All the requests that were received by the ministry were for the importation of basic commodities such as rice, sugar, cooking oil, petroleum, and electricity. The requests of the following businesses were forwarded to the Central Bank for facilitation to pay suppliers. And I go through the table. JV General Trading Import and Export Limited, rice, sugar, and cooking oil was the commodity imported. Futa Enterprise Limited, basic commodities, the rice, sugar, cooking oil. Jar Oil Company, petroleum products. Ecotrap Group Limited, rice, sugar, flour, cooking oil. National Food Security and Processing Marketing Corporation, GGC at the time, rice importation. G Farms, poultry and livestock feed. Global Properties, rice. Unique Group, rice. Concise 360 Company Limited, sugar. Gambia National Petroleum Company, petroleum products. LB Gay and Sons and Company Limited, sugar. Quantum Net Company Limited, purchase of 30 new buses. Orange Energies Gambia, petroleum products. NAWEC, settlement of payments to Car Power. Ministry of Health, procurement of ambulances. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Minister, in the process of selecting these entities, was there any public advert done by your ministry aside from sending their request to the central bank?
Honorable Speaker, there was no need for advertising because we are not required to do this. We were not procuring. These are the businesses that had issues with their suppliers and required assistance. They wrote to the ministry for support and we provided support.
Honorable Minister, in your response, you said the funds were meant to address essential goods. Can you explain to this August Assembly the reason why Quantum Net sourced 30 buses? Thank you.
We can explain is while the buses were heading to Banjul and their supplies were due, they had no access to foreign currencies, and that would have required them to either return the buses, and Gambia would have lost, or they would not be able to pay, meaning they will default on their LC. That brings about credibility issues in the Gambia. So we intervene for that reason. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Sabak Sanya. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, since your ultimate goal was to support the registered businesses in the Gambia towards bringing the prices, to lowering down the prices of basic food.
Honorable Speaker, the impact of our intervention, number one, was availability. We have already said in the answer that Gambia is a net importer of food items. We import everything we eat literally. So without this intervention, we would have gone without these commodities in the market. Problem number one was going to be without the products, and that would have been chaos. The other impact was that we mitigated the cost of living by ensuring they were able to claim their credibility is also going down. Next time they are importing, they may not find a supplier that will give it to them. So that comes back to the issue of availability.
My question has been answered. Yeah.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, could you confirm to this August Assembly if all the businesses you've mentioned here were given the businesses that are in line with their business registration? If
what, you said, what's the question?
My question is, all the businesses he has mentioned, and they were given this opportunity, were they given the businesses that are in line with their business registration as, because the services they've rendered, some of the businesses have not commensurate with the one you've talked about. I've heard you talked about global properties with food commodities, and that of Quantum Net with also both supplies, which is not in line with the services they give according to their outside their business registration.
Honorable Speaker, I think for clarity, it's a very important thing to respond to this. Businesses are not confined to one particular terrain. That's why you have subsidiaries in business. You can be called Babukar Juf Company doing course, for example, but I can have a subsidiary under the same company that is doing something else for me. So global properties are in real estate, but they're registered. They're registered. Any importer in this country requires an import license, and it's my ministry that gives import license. So we know whether what you are importing is within your remit. That is very clear.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, somebody is talking.
Yes, Kevin, may you allow me for a second for clarification, please?
No.
Who?
No.
Please, stop that. I'm requesting the leave of
we don't have time. We have some members who want to ask.
No, please.
No. Please.
Come on. Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, I have discovered the untruth of your answer. the untruth of your answer. Because where you mentioned, you said there was no process at all. This particular business is just approaching the ministry.
Honorable Speaker.
But it is very unlikely for all these.
If the member standing or talking sits down immediately. Yes, who is talking about the point of order? Nominated member Fatu K. Jawara.
Yes. Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on order 29.4. No member shall impute improper motive to any other member. The honorable member for Latkunda just said that he realized untrue in the statement of the minister. He has to withdraw that. That is not parliamentary.
The standing order quoted.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising. Sorry, let me go ahead with 29.4. Honorable Speaker, it shall be out of order to use offensive language and insult language about members of the National Assembly.
Untrue.
And the honorable minister is standing at the floor of the National Assembly when a member of National Assembly member for Latkunda just insulted him that he realized untrue in his statement. You have to withdraw this. You are very unprofessional.
Very rude. Very rude, in fact. You see, honorable member for Latrikunda. Honorable member for Latrikunda. When somebody insults you, what do? You shout at her? Or you fight her? This is parliamentary. We have due process. Please. Yes, honorable members. I was battling with what how do you call it? The nominated member, whether this is an insult or not. That is untrue, not true, it's not true. Untruth. I have no other way of saying that something is not true than it's not true.
It is not offensive.
You know?
It could. It's not
now, if I allege and believe that what you said is not true, now you will come back to prove me wrong, to say that what you have said is true and indeed what I said is not true.
Mr. Speaker, it will be very unparliamentary for him to be using even an offensive language.
Parliamentary for us to use offensive languages. As much as possible, language should be very polite. But here is the system. Somebody has said something. I don't believe in what he said, or I believe he has misled people by giving wrong information. I say it is not true. Now, what happens next? Now, that will be responded to by the honorable minister who is accused of saying something not true. We will listen to him, and then he will either prove that what the honorable member said is not true, and what he said is right, or he will accept and then give us the correct answer. So, honorable minister, honorable speaker, point of order. Honorable member for Opinion, yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, on the 38, admissibility of the question on the 38, 1C. A question shall not contain agreements, inferences, opinions, imputation, epithets, or tententious, ironical, offensive expression, or hypothetical matters. Honorable member, the word he used, untruth, Honorable Speaker, is ironical.
is hypothetical. So he needs to withdraw it then so that we can.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable, who is shouting? Honorable, there is a point of order in place. It's yet to be decided. You want to come up. Honorable member for Upper Nyomi. I will indulge your cooperation so that we allow the honorable member to finish his question for determination. Please. Honorable member, you said what the honorable, he said something untruthful. Can you complete your question, please?
Yeah, my question is, Honorable Minister, it is very unlikely if there was no national process open for a group of these businessmen you mentioned to approach your ministry for this particular financial favor. Was there an actual process launched that attracted these businessmen to your ministry, please?
No, Honorable, your question was, you said what he said is not truthful. Yeah, that is the question we are after. Because that's what we are making a determination on.
Yes.
Yes.
He said, where he said there was no process, this businessman just approached his ministry. That's why I said that's the untruth of his answer.
All right, now I have understood you. I think your standing order is in place. You were talking about an opinion in this particular case. You were not present. You were not there. You don't know the details. You don't know the process. And you are saying it's untruth. That's an opinion. Honorable, listen to standing order 38, 1C. A question shall not contain arguments, inferences, opinions, imputations, epithets, or tendentious, ironical, or offensive expressions or hypothetical matters. That's your standing order. Honorable member for Brikama North.
Question has been addressed by honorable member for Janjambur.
Thank you very much. Question number 034 of 2025 by the honorable member for Pony Bintang Karanai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Trade, Regional Integration and Employment inform this August Assembly what plans the ministry has to control price of food commodities, especially during Ramadan?
Thank you, Honorable Member for Ponyi Bintang constituency. Honorable Speaker, the Gambia maintains a free market economic policy and a liberal trading environment where prices of goods and services are determined by market forces. However, the ministry monitors the stock and price levels of essential commodities in the market on a weekly basis to ensure the availability, accessibility, and affordability, as well as mitigate any unjustifiable price escalations in the domestic market. The recent trend in price hikes, if there are, of basic commodities mentioned in the question, may be a reflection of the volatility of the global commodities, and the Gambia, as a net importer of basic commodities, is vulnerable to these external shocks. In addition, the value of the dalasi against the major currencies such as the US dollar has occasionally been depreciating, adding cost to importation. To minimize the negative impact on the domestic price hikes and to ensure the availability and affordability of food commodities, my ministry is promoting the participation of Gambians in commodity trading, and this, to a large extent, has stabilized the price of rice in the domestic market. The Central Bank of the Gambia has also made progress in their efforts to stabilize the value of the dalasi and reduce inflation. In addition, the ministry continues to engage and collaborate with the key stakeholders to mitigate or dampen the effects of price hikes of essential commodities. The ministry continues to engage the ports, the Gambia Ports Authority and affiliates to provide priority berthing to vessels carrying essential commodities. Long-term strategy, the ministry is also supporting domestic production of some of the essential commodities to minimize their importation and exposure to external shocks. The ministry will continue to strengthen its surveillance mechanisms through the weekly stock level monitoring and regular engagement with importers and retailers of the essential commodities to ensure availability and affordability of commodities. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, does free market actually mean?
Honorable Speaker, that is not the definition of free.
Your view.
Honorable Speaker, a free market environment also requires some rules and regulations, and there are rules and regulations. It doesn't mean they do whatever they like to do, and that is why in this country you have the GCCPC. That's the purpose of having them. The Gambia Consumer Protection and Consumer Protection, they are there, they are acts that pass through this assembly. All these are regulating the environment. So a liberal economy or liberal market, free market, does not mean the traders do whatever they like. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala.
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, in a free market economy, what is your ministry's preparedness in showing, for example, you go to Brikama, a bag of rice is this, go to Serekunda, a bag of rice is this, go to Basse, a bag of rice, other communities are different. As a ministry, what would you advise to make sure price hacking into a big variance is avoided?
Depend on certain variables. If you are taking a bag of rice from the port of Banjul to Fatoto, the cost of transportation, the storage issues, the charges along, those things will impact on the price. That's different from what was the vessel number, what was the situation of demorages. There are so many variables that will make it impossible, impractical. Even if you have a soldier in every shop with a gun, you cannot control that to ensure that they sell at the same price. You cannot achieve that. There is no market that can provide you that opportunity. So that is the opportunity that we, the consumers, have to enjoy competition amongst them, for them to compete for our monies. That is why you have the fluctuation. And that's what a liberal market is providing you. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, hence you say that the price variables might be uncontrollable. and also in your efforts to stabilize the prices while still trying to protect the consumers. Realistically, can these things be done?
Realistically, can you what?
I mean, can these processes, realistically, candidly from him, can these processes be done? Chief, thank you.
Honorable, can you put up your question again?
No problem. Yeah, he made mention that when it comes to, he was giving us different examples. He made mention that when it comes to variables, they are uncontrollable and they are cost-cutting. So my question is specifically, in his efforts to stabilize the prices, while still also trying to protect the consumers, realistically and candidly from him, are these things attainable?
Honorable Speaker, it depends on what consumer protection means for you. We provide, the Act provides a lot of protection for consumers. And those are given, they are in the Act. The Consumer Protection Commission ensures that this is in place where it is not, investigations are carried out and these vendors are brought to book. So the protection probably you're talking about, I'm not quite clear whether that requires that we go in and force prices onto the vendors. Government cannot introduce prices unless they provide subventions. If we get the budget, if we can have the budget to subvent, it's okay. We can do it. But we cannot do it unless we are able to pay that buffer. If I import, the cost of importation is what I'm transferring to the consumer. From the original source to the port and to my shop is what I'm transferring to the consumer. So if we want to reduce that, we can put in some money. If we have that money, we can control prices. But unless that happens, we allow it to control itself. That is
Honorable Member for Parliamentary.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, as we are all aware that demurrage charges are based on when containers are kept in the port for a period of time that exceeds the normal time. But an avoidance in demurrage, on pain of demurrage charges, don't you think that will also affect the port in terms of usage of electricity or any other commodity that is being kept at the port? Thank you.
Very substantive, Honorable. Very substantive. Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, what has the availability of dollar at a discounted rate to the 10 selected business entities impacted on the cost of living in the Gambia or essential goods?
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, the cost of the dollar is relevant in this honorable member for Janjambure because most of the importers from this part of the world rely on the use of the dollar as their medium of exchange when they want to bring commodities in. So when it fluctuates, if a dollar C is reduced or added, it impacts on the amount they spend to get the dollar. So anything that a vendor spends on buying rice, that amount is transferred to the consumer. So that's the relevance of that fluctuation on the cost of the dollar to what we consume in our houses. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question has already been answered. Thank you.
Question number 035 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment informed this Assembly, August Assembly, if the Ministry has any robust plan to facilitate trade within the communities and local lumos.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Central Badibu constituency. Honorable Speaker, to facilitate trade within the communities and local lumos and to promote a wider domestic trade regime, the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment has finalized the National Domestic Strategy. The main objective of this strategy is to chart a path for enhancing trade in locally produced goods within the domestic market. Lumos play a critical role in achieving this objective. Therefore, as part of the implementation of the strategy, the Ministry is embarking on Lumo Market Modernization Program. A readiness assessment under this program has been conducted for 27 Lumo markets across the country. To pilot this program, the Ministry is collaborating with the ECOWAS Commission through the cross-border project and has support to refurbish the modernization of Wellingaraba Lumo market in LRR. The Lumo market is built with modern concrete tables, a borehole, concrete pavement, and a fence to create an enabling environment conducive to trading for the community. The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment has also engaged GAMWorks agency to develop a model design of the Lumo market concept for replication of this modern Lumo market infrastructure we have started in Wellingaraba in the remaining 26 Lumos across the country. Thank you.
Thank you for this progressive response as far as the Lumos are concerned. Is Central Badibu, is Kerepate Kore in Central Badibu part of these 26 Lumos? 26, because he said one is already rehabilitated.
Honorable Speaker, yes, Kerepate is one of the 26 mentioned. It's one of the total 27 studied. All the Lumos that exist as I speak are within the study. So Kerepate is included.
Thank you very much. The strategy that you're talking about, will it also contain about accessibility like road connection to the Lumos?
Honorable Speaker, roads and other things will be left to the Minister of Infrastructure, Works and Communication Transport. We will be confining our intervention to only the infrastructure, the Lumo itself, and I'm sure we'll be asking for money and the Assembly will be aware of this. Thank you.
Congratulations for beating the system. Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, what stage is GAMWork at the development of the Lumo market concept, which is very important in the whole process?
Honorable Speaker, thank you, Honorable Member for Brikama South. They have done a tour of all the Lumos with our staff. The technicians are currently looking at the design. They collected our concept, our idea of what we really want to see in the new Lumo structure, and they've gone back to design that. They will come back and show us in 3D what the concept will be. We'll do a validation, and then that is what we will take out for mobilization of resources. We want to build all the 26 together, and then bring the Wellingaraba one also up to the same standard. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Brikama North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you did say Kerepate and Wellingaraba are among the 27 Lumos selected. Can you give us the names of the rest of the Lumos?
Honorable Speaker, I don't want to pretend I know the Gambia more than everyone else. I know some Lumos, I don't know the others. But the study is available, and if it is requested officially, we'll make it available. Thank you.
I have even noted that that was going to be a substantive question, because I just looked at the Honorable Minority Leader, then I stooped down, closed my eyes. Yes. Honorable members, let me thank the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment for his responses to honorable members' questions. Honorable Minister, thank you very much.
Questions for oral answers. Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
No? Thank you. Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, you may take the podium. Kabuli West. Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources for oral reply. Question number 107 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Woolly West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources inform this August Assembly the status of the ecosystem-based adaptation EBA project under the Ministry?
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker. Since its inception in 2018, the project has embarked on large-scale implementation of ecosystem-based adaptation, that's the EBA, across 182 communities in Lower River Region, Central River Region, both North and South, Upper River Region, with the goal of enhancing climate resilience of rural communities, particularly women, youths, and other vulnerable groups. The project is in its final month of implementation and will officially close by the end of 2025 calendar year. Over the past 7 years of implementation, a summary of the EBA project achievements is here listed below. Constructed 9 central forest nurseries in Manduwar, LRR, Wilingaraba, Bureng Kresma, Kudang, the CRR South, YBK, CRR South, Bakadaji Jailan, CRR North, Same Karantaba, Dutokoto, CRR North, Yerobawa Rada, URR, Suduol, also in URR, and Sare Sambel in URR. Constructed restoration works in a combined area of 34 hectares, including assisted natural regenerations in 25,777 hectares in Kiang West and 56 communities forest planting in the 530 hectares of mangroves and over 1,500 hectares in farmlands and schoolyards. Worked with 56 communities in managing their community forests and community protected areas by planting more climate resilient indigenous species and adapting assisted natural regeneration, that's the ANR method, by clearing the breaks around the parks and valuable trees. Cleared 90 kilometers boundaries of the Kiang West National Park to protect it from encroachment and bushfires. Planted 530 hectares of mangroves in 26 communities, that is in LRR, CRR South, and CRR North. Worked with 1,057 farmers in 69 communities and 80 schools to plant 1,340 hectares of degraded farmland and schoolyards with climate resilience, economically viable tree species. Established 104 beekeeping enterprises, supplied with beekeeping equipment, tools, and training, with some in their third year of operations. Renovated and equipped 8 departments of a community development women's skills training multipurpose centers. The centers are now actively engaging scores of women in processing and packaging millet and maize food products, baobab, pepper sauces, tomato sauces, and tea for both local and also suitable for international market. Constructed a multi-million-dollar central food processing facility in Birkamaba, which the president visited on one of his tours. Constructed 4 vegetable gardens in CRR North and South and URR. The gardens are fully operational and engaging nearly 1,000 women gardeners and families. Established 5 guinea fowl enterprise in Battalion, that's the LRR, Chairman and Kas Wolof, CRR North, Lumbambulu, and Dembakunda in URR. Established 5 anthropogenic grass processing enterprises in Bajana, Kulikunda, Jali, Manduar, and Dumbuto, or in LRR. Renovated 7 departments of forest stations. Renovated student dormitories and provision of solar-powered boreholes, water system at the RDI, and build the staff quarters, office, and water system for the Department of Parks and Wildlife near the River Gambia National Park. Constructed new classroom blocks, office, and library for the National Forest School at Kafuta. The project is in the process of validating the long-awaited curriculum on bachelor's degree program in the forestry and nature reserve management. Works are in progress in the construction of an eco-lodge at Kosemar Tenda. As expected and mentioned earlier, the project is expected to end in 2025. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, in your answer, you said the project is about to end in 2025. Are you aware that there are structures that these people have started in Yerobao that you have just mentioned they could not complete still now?
Yes, we are aware. We are currently reviewing an audit report, and then decision will be taken by management. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, this project you mentioned, to my knowledge, has 2 main important objectives. One, to build climate resilience in our rural communities, and 2, to develop a sustainable natural resource-based economy. Now, can you tell us, since the project is now implemented, or we are on the verge of, or already implemented the project, because it's only one month or so, how were the rural communities involved in the design, the monitoring, and the implementation of this project?
Honorable, if you want questions of your own, please pose the questions. They will be answered. Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Explain me, what is supplemented about my, what is, Central Badibu, sit down. We have to clear this.
Okay, Honorable, calm down, please. Calm down. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, about the EBA project, can you tell us the success stories or the success project intervention sites?
Thank you. I think I've just listed the achievements, and achievements are success stories. If you want, this EVA project has been very popular here at the National Assembly, and I've provided several questions and answers to this august body. If you want me to list all the achievements that EVA has done, I'll have to bring you a book, and I'm still happy to do that. We'll provide a full report about that. Thank you.
You mean you have no challenges, only success stories?
Said what? Honorable, in fact, the principal question is asking for those things, and he has listed some of the success stories here. Honorable member for Banjul Central. Banjul Central.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've made mention on multiple fronts, success stories with regards to the project, and we applaud your ministry for these strides taken. However, usually in this country we have an issue of upkeep, basically. So what are the protective and sustainability measures your ministry is taking to tackle the continuity when it comes to this project, when it faces out?
Thank you. Every project must have challenges, of course. But again, I am happy to tell you that for the sustainability plan is already in place. The ministry is already working with other investors on a PPP plan to make sure that the management and the efficient upkeep of this infrastructures continues. So that one is already in plan. We're working with GT board and other private sectors on a PPP arrangement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've made mention in your response about the products that the EVA project is engaging women in producing, or in packaging rather. Specifically, and you've talked about the export as well, so specifically, which area or where do you normally do the exports? Thank you.
I said suitable for international market. Yes. The matters of trade is under the Minister of Trade, who will support. We only provide the foundation for women to engage into productive businesses with respect to forest products. But the actual chain of the market is under the Minister of Trade, who is doing their best to make sure that they link these women to the international community, but more so within the local system as well. Thank you.
Question number 108 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Ministry has been aware of environmental hazards caused by the sheep herders who cross into the Gambia from Senegal? If so, what actions could be taken to stop the act now, as it is generating violence to our nature or our environment and our people?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Transhumance refers to the seasonal movement of livestock and herders between different grazing areas to ensure year-round availability of pasture and water. ECOWAS promotes free movement of people and goods, which can enhance transhumance, but also requires cooperation and resource management and conflict resolution. Upon entry into the Gambia, in this case, the transhumans must be given clearance by the Department of Livestock with the following conditions: not tampering with the vegetation, especially cutting of branches and trees or tree animals feedings, liaising with the regional forest officers before entering into the forest. A severe penalty should be levied for violation of the above by the herders and must not be less than the cost of restoring any damage caused. Although transhumance activity is more under the responsibility of the Ministry of Agriculture, that's the Department of the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Livestock rather. The Department of Forestry is aware of the challenges it poses on our forest land and resources. Transhumance activity in the Gambia involves herders within districts, from other districts and regions within the country, as well as herders from Senegal. The Gambia and Senegal have historically negotiated protocols allowing this seasonal movement of cattle across borders. These arrangements are important to ensure that herders have official recognition, reducing potential frictions with border controls and local communities to mitigate its challenges to our forest land and resources. Action points discussed during the Senegalo-Gambia Permanent Secretariat meeting includes matters related to the regulation of management of the transhumance activities. My ministry will engage with the Ministry of Agriculture to implement this action point with our concerned sister ministries in Senegal.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, you said the ECOWAS protocol talks about free movement of goods and services. But these people, they are not goods to be sold in the Gambia. They come purposely to graze on our land. They don't only graze on our land, they start fighting our people with cutlasses. This is a serious violence, not only to the environment, but the safety of our people. So I don't know what protocol is talking about. You move from your country, you go and stabbing people with cutlasses. Please, can we be better informed on which protocol, and can we make the protocol of the that Gambia and Senegal has about the cattle? Because I'm talking about sheep. You are now talking about the cattle. Can we make that?
Honorable. The Honorable Minister in his answer is very explicit. Your fears have been allayed by the answers. What he made Honorable, listen. He made reference to the existing protocol, ECOWAS protocol, free movement of people and goods. He made that reference, noting that that is in place, but with all that they try to put in these safeguards to ensure that those things don't happen, and if they are to happen, what are the measures in place? That's what he has enumerated. So that ECOWAS protocol is just mentioning it to say that we should be aware that there is this free movement of people and goods across the ECOWAS countries. But the ministries, what the ministry has done, she enumerated it down. Honorable Speaker, I'm putting to you that those protocols and those steps taken by the ministry are not followed. These people are in Central Baribu right now, Sabah Sanjali, Kauru, they are all over, and they don't go through the right border post to be quarantined. In fact, they are bringing diseases to our animals here. One thing. So this is the that's one thing. What the measures put in place is what she has told you. Where those measures are being applied or not applied at the level at those levels is another. Your question was what each ministry has put in place to avoid it. That's your question. She told you what they have put in place. If you have sought first, and she further said some of these things are not within under her ministry, some of them are with the livestock department. But she has ideas about it, and she gave you those things. So if there are lapses in the implementation of those things, that's another.
I'm saying, even the actions that he said his ministry is taking place, when we approach the regional forestry officers, they can't tell us anything, including the governor. I'm putting it to all of us on record that there is no robust system in place, Speaker.
We are not denying whether the system is robust or not. Your question was, what his ministry put in place? She has told you that these are the things in place. Our level now you are talking about is those that are in place are not working or are not working the best way you think they should work. That's another development. South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you did mention that in your response that you will be engaging the Agricultural Ministry, especially the Livestock Department, to look at how do we strategically improve upon the control that we should do. And I know you did mention about the penalties that is levied anytime they violate the rule. Would you, in fact, engage the other ministries, especially the justice, to improve upon the enforcement, the legislation, in order to improve upon the punishment to stop the violence component that they create in our country?
Thank you. I understand the concern, but then some of the concerns are so broad, including security matters. So, and then there are rules not under my ministry. As I mentioned in the question, we have an action point under the Senegalo-Gambia Permanent Secretariat that is relevant to the transformation, which my ministry also have a stake, but not the one responsible. Yes, if there is, under this action point, if there is anything that the action advises to do, we will do it. If it is legal reformation, we will do that. And we will surely engage all the ministries that are concerned in implementing this action plan. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, these herdsmen or Walankos, they have been in this country, especially the rural people. And the question that I want to ask, and they cut some of these indigenous trees, like mango or keno or others. So my question is, how often did your ministry monitor their activities in the forest?
Thank you. Matters of governance, it's all inclusive. My ministry is concerned because it affects our forests as well. Last year I was on a tour. I had a special engagement with some governors on this issue, and even my forest officers, to the extent one group that was arrested and then asked to face the law. What we are doing, or what we should do, is to make sure that we enhance enforcement. And we have regional officers, we have regional stakeholders, we have regional authorities, who should also be doing that. It's definitely a critical milestone that my ministry is definitely putting efforts to make sure that all those assigned to discharge their responsibilities do it to the latter. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Nyanija.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. In place that should be monitored accordingly. The bone of contention here is, do you consider taxing those officers on the ground, the forest officers and whosoever is affected, to be monitoring these people, monitoring the activities that they are doing within this? But also let us be mindful. Us also, we go to the other parts, like we go to the other part of our cattle to Senegal and do some of these things. So let us be mindful.
No.
For the forest officers, or our officers at the regions, their mandates are very clear. It depends who is definitely doing their work effectively and efficiently. And that we are already working on measures to make sure that at least we serve according to our portfolios. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Salm.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, in your answer you mentioned Senegalo-Gambia Secretariat. My question, what impact Senegalo-Gambia has in our domestic laws? Or there is a law on deforestation?
Honorable, put a substantive question on that, please.
No.
You can ask, she's not the right person to answer about Senegalo-Gambian.
No,
she's not. She mentioned that as the
Secretariat.
No, Honorable, I have heard you, I have heard her. Please.
No, he mentioned Senegal.
Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, this issue of herders crossing from neighboring countries to our country is really causing great harm to our environment. I'm sure you have some extension workers, some forest officers, that are given to your extension workers has been taken to court, or an action being taken against those who are doing these illegal activities in our areas. because they are causing great harm to our environment, cutting down trees, stealing our animals, and bringing, other diseases to our animals. And it is causing a very great harm to the society. Has there ever been an action taken towards stopping those illegal activities they are doing?
Thank you so much. The rest of the so many that you have mentioned, most of them are not under my jurisdiction. I'm only concerned about the forest, even though we are all concerned about all this because it's still Gambia. But under my jurisdiction, the forest is my concern in this. And in our last year's nationwide tour, it was within our report. And then it was mentioned to Cabinet, this is a great concern that the ministry is having. And I mentioned in my previous intervention that I even summoned the governor of LRR and the regional forestry and the alcalde to take necessary actions, which was taken. So we are concerned and we are also worried, but we are taking necessary measures to correct it.
For her, she is very active.
No.
Honorable Speaker, motion. Motion.
Pardon?
Motion.
Motion?
Yes. On the 53K.
When you have motions on the 53K, send me notice of the motion. Just send me a paper that you want to move. So I must know. If I don't know, I will not let you do it. Honorable, what is the motion about?
Motion is about taxing the Environmental Committee and Agricultural Committee to look into this issue. Because as I'm saying, this is very serious and it's leading to conflict in certain communities, between the vegetable growers and these herders, farmers and the herders. And we have been seeing it in the sub-region. It created a lot of violence. So I want the two committees to work on this matter. That's my motion.
We are dealing with the Ministry for Environment, and there are concerns raised by honorable members about some intrusion into their areas, causing a lot of harm. And the minister has responded. Now, if the honorable member choose to ask Parliament for them to look into the matter with a view to finding solutions or making recommendations, I think that is urgent. So you can put your who is talking? Honorable, can you move your motion, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move a motion, Select Committee on Agriculture and the Environment with Security to look into this issue.
Honorable, you must make your motion very, very good, because that is based on the motion that they are going to work. So please, can you take your time and put something down, and then towards the end of the whole thing, we can ask you to do that. You cannot just, or you ask for assistance from the table office or the clerk's office. Question number 109 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources inform this August Assembly as to what ground was the Sukuta Salaji Forest allocated to a businessman called Abubakar Jawara, which raised high concern in the community of Sukuta as indigenous settlers? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the 24th September...
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Yeah, the question is already admitted.
Honorable Speaker, point of order, I mean. Honorable Member for opinion, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Order 38.1 F. 38.1. The 38.1E, a question shall not refer to proceedings. A question shall not refer to proceedings in a committee which have not been reported to the Assembly except the extent permitted by the Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this matter was brought before the committees of bureaus, and we have agreed that the Committee of Environment should pay a visit to the premises and report back to the Assembly. Yes.
Honorable members, please. Honorable, you know, when is the issue in the hands of a committee? Because yes, when an issue is with the committee, you cannot put questions until they are ready. Is it before a committee? Honorable members, please.
Allow me to. Honorable Speaker, a letter was written to a committee from the VDC. Honorable Speaker, a letter was written to the member for Jajambure. Please respect the Assembly, the institution. Tell him, please. He is very notorious.
Yes, honorable member for opinion.
Honorable Speaker, a letter was received by the committee from the VDC that the committee should make a visit to the premises and find out what was going on there.
Is it before a committee?
Yes.
For scrutiny? Honorable member for parliamentary, please. If you are looking and he does that,
Honorable Speaker,
please.
Honorable Speaker, I deem it that is before the committee because the bureau of the committee has settled that the committee should make a visit to the premises.
That was
what was agreed.
Yes, that was said.
Point of order.
Honorable, I want to ask, you know, all engagements of committees used to pass through the Bureau of Committees. Was this an issue that was tabled there and agreed to? Yes, please, Honorable.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I think during the Bureau meeting, the issue of Salaji Forest Park came on the table as an activity for the Environment Committee. The Bureau removed it because a letter was written to the Environment Committee, and then they said they were going to visit there. We said that issue has been resolved, but the Bureau told the chairperson of the Environment Committee for them to pay a visit to the site. That letter is with the Environment Committee. So the Bureau removed the activity that the Environment Committee cannot engage on anything with regard to Salaji Forest Park at the time. But then they can engage the VDC. That was said. So the question is still talking about the same thing. I think that's what.
Point of order. Honorable Speaker. Point of order. Speaker. Point of order. Member of the Environment Committee. Please. Point of order. I don't think we should be arguing on this. Point of order.
If I understood you, are you saying that it's before a committee or not before a committee?
Yes, it was before a committee. The committee raised the issue. They put it in their activity plan. During the Bureau meeting, it was the Bureau that removed that activity. They said they cannot engage the VDC.
It is not, in short, it is not before a committee.
In short, all right.
On a point of order.
Yes, who is standing on a point of order?
Member for Sabak Sanjal.
Member for Sabak Sanjal.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we should be debating on this. Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on order 41-2. Questions for oral answer. Any question which appears on the order paper and which is not disposed of by the time the Assembly adjourns on a Wednesday shall be placed on an order paper approved by the Assembly Business Committee for answer to be provided. So I don't think we should debate on things like this. Since it is already approved and it is placed on the order paper, the minister is ought to answer the question. Thank you.
Honorable has no very much bearing on this one. There are better provisions for those ones. But honorable members, what I'm saying is, it looks clear that the committee intended to put it as part of their business. The ABC objected to it.
Let me clarify, please.
What I understood from the honorable. No, sorry. What I say?
Honorable Speaker, what I'm saying is, I am not against the question. I said that particular activity on their schedule during the bureau meeting, the bureau removed it, but they justified. They justified it. So later we told them, okay, you can go ahead and engage the BDC. That was said. So whether you accept the question or not, it's not a problem for me.
I think the whole thing is the questions here pass through various stages to be here, and now they are here now, and we cannot still establish whether a committee is looking into this. So now, honorable, please, honorable. I'm not taking any order until I am ready. Unfortunately, that the people I tend to respect most are the people making nuisances in the assembly. Next time I will react. If you cannot respect an individual, at least respect the institution. No amount of talking to each other can solve a problem. If somebody is saying something, you don't like it, you are shouting so that the person will keep quiet, the person will not keep quiet. And you will not prevent the person from talking, and you will continue to be talking. How do we solve it? Allow people to express themselves. If you think you are right, after they are ready, take the floor and put us right. Simple. Usually, empty barrels make the most sound. People who shout at the corners, you will never see them making meaningful contributions. Those who are making meaningful contributions usually are very quiet and listening to people. Honorable Member for Salimentary, can you ask your question, please?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I repeat, Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources inform this August Assembly as to what ground was the Sukuta Salaji forest allocated to a businessman called Abubakar Jawara, which raised high concern in the community of Sukuta as the indigenous settlers. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the 24th September 2024, the Permanent Secretary received a letter from Gach Group requesting to use a portion of the Salaji Forest Park as a depot for basal. The request was forwarded to the Director of Forestry for review and to issue a temporal allocation if it is within the Forest Act 2018. After reviewing the request from Gach Group, the Director of Forestry approved a temporal allocation for 2.5 hectares to Gach Group for storage of basal in accordance with Section 82 of the Forest Act 2018, which states, where farming, industrial projects, or other similar activities in forest areas are not assessed for the environment impact as provided in the National Environment Management Act, the developer of such activities shall be required to submit a project brief to the director stating the nature of the project, the activity that should be undertaken, the area of forest land that may be affected, the use of the standing trees and shrubs, the possible product and byproduct of the activities anticipated, and any other matter that may affect the shrub and tree cover. If after consideration of the project brief, the director is of the view that the proposed project will not have any adverse impact on the concerned forest or on the minimum percentage of the forest specified in Section 5 of this Act, he or she may approve the project. Salaji Forest covers an area of 262 hectares, and the area temporarily allocated to Gach is less than 1% of the total park. On the 4th November 2024, at their request, I received a delegation from Sukuta Village Development Committee, Kombo Yiriwa Kafo, and the Gambia Environment Alliance at the Ministry on the temporal allocation of the 2.5 hectares to Gach Group at Salaji Forest Park. My team had a frank and fruitful discussion with the delegations, notwithstanding Section 82 of the Forest Act 2018. In December 2024, the National Environment Agency issued a provisional environmental approval to Gach Group for temporary storage of basal at Salaji Forest Park. I, together with my senior management, received the representatives of Sokuta, the Gambia Environment Alliance, and Kombo Yiriwa Kafo at the Ministry for a second time on the 8th January 2025. It was explained to them that Salaji Forest Park is a state forest under the sole management of the Department of Forestry and not a community forest for the avoidance of doubts under the sole responsibility of the Department of Forestry. In line with Forest Act 2018, this process of temporal allocation was explained to them, which they appear to understand in my view. The meeting ended in an agreeable manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for that response. But then in the Forestry Act, which consultation is part of? Was the community ever consulted before any action being taken at that side? Thank you.
That's what I mentioned. This is not a community forest where the community has a whole stake, even though the environment impact would ascertain any impact that will cause within the surrounding, not only the forest itself. So that was also issued.
Honorable Speaker, you've had meeting with the, which I have the minutes of that particular meeting, though I was not even in the country when you had that meeting with my community, the people of my community. And you've made mention about, in the minutes, you've made mention about the consultation with the community, which your ministry failed to do, and which you've made mention that consultation should be part of it. And you've also promised compensating in other sectors like fencing and others, which you also fail to do in completion. But Honorable Minister, the temporality that...
Compliment.
Yes, this is what I'm doing. Thank you. The temporality that you're talking about allocating the land to Abubakar Jawara temporarily, how temporal, how long will this land, particular land be allocated to him temporarily? Thank you.
Thank you. On the concept of governance. So therefore, as stakeholders, we just deem it necessary that we can consult. But it's not guided by the law that it's a must, we have to consult them. And if I may continue, on the issue of the temporal allocation, or let me start with the first one where we're talking about compensation. It has to be very clear. This is not a community forest. And the environment impact should have stated that there will be huge impact to health and other social issues that will warrant and guide matters of compensation if it is deeming. But that is not there. And I want to reflect that we have a whole stakeholder meeting prior to this position. There were stakeholders concerning NAWEC, NEA, the Ministry of Lands, the Department of Forestry, and I think other key stakeholders were also present, security as well, to look at the possibility of decision to give this to guide on a temporary basis, making sure that it's not affecting not the environment, but also even the forest and also our other security matters. So due diligence was already conducted in this regard. On the matter of the minutes, I don't want to go detail in that. These are minutes, so I don't know who signed it and how it was signed. Maybe we'll have to do a further investigation to ascertain what type of meeting and what was said in the meeting and who signed it. For the temporal allocation, as long as GAT is using it, we did not want to make it to reserve it. Government also have the prerogative power under the ministry to reserve the land and give it for public use. But we said no, this is a business, that's our decision, to protect our forest, to avoid them going out of business and using it for different purpose. If you are out of business, you bring it back to forest or use it for something else. It's government property. So that was the reason why we made it temporal. Just like NAWEC, NAWEC is temporal. How long are they going to stay? We don't know.
I am exhausted. Honorable Member for Janyambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Minister, in your response, you said Salaji is not a community forest. What is the state of Salaji forest in terms of gazetting?
It's still a reserve forest, mean it's gazetted. That's the status. It's a community. It's a state forest.
A member for Central Badibu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I am deeply moved. You said 1% of the land is given to GAT. That 1%, I'm not saying gazetted. I said 1%. Yeah, even it is less than whatever, I'll take it as 1%. Now, Honorable Minister, that 1% part, does it have trees that were cut to put basalt there, or is an empty land that is given to him? Because if it is cut, if trees don't put,
Honorable, you only ask questions.
Yes, it's less than 1%. I can say with the number of trees, barely there were no trees. It was almost shrubs that we have there.
Honorable Member for Lantrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, this is the real definition when the country is under a state of economic capture. Now, can you tell us, or can you supply to the National Assembly the due diligence report and the environmental and social impact assessment before this particular place is given to GAT?
You can put a substantive question for that.
She mentioned due diligence in a answer.
About mentioning alone. It's not about making name. Go back to your study report.
Speaker, my question is, I asked for the due diligence report. That she mentioned that it was conducted.
Honorable nominated member Keba Lam Fofana.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the member for Central Badibu have asked my question because as a former forester, I was deeply concerned as to the adverse impact it will have on the trees. So since the minister is saying many there were shrubs, I wouldn't go further in asking.
Honorable member for Banjul Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, with due diligence to the legality of things, you've made reference on certain, like the Forest Act, for example. My question would be with regards to the compliance factor, where the indigenous community factor with regards to this, even though it's not a community forest, but they might have certain interests in the vicinity, where their rights also be upholded.
Whether the indigenous community were consulted. Well, factor, not consulted. It's a state land. When it comes to compliance aspect of giving out the land to the businessman, actually. I want to believe that sometimes probably we are not paying attention much to the responses given by the honorable ministers. All what you are saying had been answered adequately. One, you quoted her that it is by an act, it's not community forest.
Yes.
One.
Yes.
Two, where they are consulted, he said there were stakeholder meetings on the impact, where the community can be involved, is the impact assessment of that being there.
Yes.
And there was almost nil.
Yes.
So the community was stuck because that's why they did the impact assessment, so that it will go beyond that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Able to impact on the community.
You are right. That's fine.
And the various stakeholders were present.
You are right. That's fine.
Yes, please. These are given. Some people are busy talking. When they are ready, they pose a question. Honorable Let me thank you, Honorable Minister, for the environment, climate change, and natural resources, for ably responding to honorable members' questions. Thank you very much. Honorable members. No, left in section of Igbo class. To vary the order of this. Honorable members, I have had some notification, and I will therefore invoke Standing Order 14/3 to vary the other paper we are now dealing with. The Honorable Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery has a very urgent thing to look after, and he has only one question. I will now bring him forward now for him to respond to his question, and then we release him to go. Clerk.
Questions for oral answers. Honorable Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery.
Thank you very much. Could the Honorable Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery take the podium to respond to the questions? And honorable members, question for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 060. Of 2025 by the honorable member for Talending Kunya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery explain to this August Assembly if it is correct or in line with law, regulations, rules and procedures for civil servants or civil service office holders to be involved in political activities?
General Order 03104 states that, and I quote, every officer is entitled to his or her own political views and may, if qualified, vote at elections. He or she may become a member of a political party or organization, but may not accept any office, whether paid or unpaid, permanent or temporary, in any political party or organization. Nor may he or she make speeches, join in demonstrations, or in any other way indicate publicly his or her support for any political party, organization, person, or policy, nor shall he or she be required to do so in the course of his or her duties. This is further buttressed by Section 4.3.7 of the Code of Conduct for the Civil Service, which states that, quote, a civil servant shall refrain from indulging in party political activities whilst performing his or her duties in the workplace. The above General Order and Civil Service Code of Conduct provisions are in accordance with Section 171 of the Constitution, which states that, and I quote, a person holding an office in a public service shall not hold office in any political party, end of quote. In view of the foregoing, it is therefore not correct for civil servants or civil service office holders to be manifestly involved in political activities.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, does your ministry check the political space to look at public service holders who are involved in this and ascribe the penalties that are mentioned in the books?
Honorable Speaker, our ministry does not look at the political space because our work mainly concentrates on what happens in the offices and the productivity of officers.
Honorable Speaker, these laws are meant to police public servants' behavior in the public space. That is why it is said you cannot take part in the political activity. If you are not looking at the political space, how can you hold somebody responsible for taking part in political activity?
Honorable Speaker, we expect that of civil servants in the political arena. They can launch a formal complaint, and we have the Public Service Commission that will do the necessary investigation.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabeji
was drafting this particular laws you just read. Probably they have two things in mind: to protect public resources and to ensure continuity and stability in the public service. Now, I just look at your ministry, administrative reform, policy coordination. So it is my opinion that, Honorable Minister, you should be able to coordinate which civil servants are behaving or misbehaving, like the governors.
policing the behaviors of governors and other political actors. Thank you.
Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, your answer is very clear. As a ministry, what are you doing to make sure that civil servants don't take part in politics openly?
Honorable Speaker, these laws and regulations that I have quoted have been made available to civil servants upon their employment, and also they are displayed on the website of the PMO for the civil servants to take note of. And as I said, if any one of them breaks this rule, it's the responsibility of whoever wants to launch a complaint to send a report to us, and the Public Service Commission will do the necessary investigation.
Speaker, Honorable Minister, does your ministry monitor the adherence to these relevant provisions of the GO, the Code of Conduct, and the Constitution?
Honorable Speaker, as I said earlier, we have made these laws and regulations and rules available, and we as a ministry do not go out in the political arena to monitor which civil servants are involved, because we don't have staff trained for that. If any member of the public feels that there is a civil servant that is involved in politics and want the matter to be addressed, it is for that civil servant to write to the Public Service Commission or to the ministry and the Public Service Commission, which is set up for the discipline of public servants, to do the necessary investigation.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery, for ably responding to honorable members' questions. Honorable Minister, thank you very much.
The Select Committee of Senegal. Thank you.
Honorable members, any seconder? Honorable. Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion, including security.
Honorable, you have to repeat your into the concerns raised by the honorable member as regards border intrusion, cattle motion. So let's rescind it.
Yes, so now I'm rising up.
Be rescinded. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So, honorable members, this is what you said, and I'll be point of order. Consult more other people. Point of order, Speaker. You see, there is time frame. Somebody talks about security, somebody talks about something else. So what I'm saying is, do your consultations, and then we will give you the floor again. We don't want to be doing it, rescinding our decision, and then all these things.
Point of order, Speaker.
So it's point of order. Upper Salu.
Yes. I'm rising on order 29.3, which says it shall be out of order to attempt to consider any specific question upon which the Assembly has taken a decision during the current session, except upon a motion to rescind that decision for which notice must be given. On clause 29.3, it says it shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question upon which the Assembly has taken a decision during the current session, except upon a motion to rescind that decision for which notice must be given. We've already taken a decision for the first motion. And then if you want to rescind, notice must be given in advance for that rescind to be done. By who? Where? Get out.
This may be 52. Huh?
Meeting in writing to the table office, not less than 5 clear working days before the sitting. I think it is intended to be debated.
But what are the motions that are exempted from this?
53.
Honorable members, I think we will have to make reference to a lot of things because we are doing our consultations on this issue. And that the relevant provision is 29.3, am I right? And that is under the content of speeches. If you look at the heading, 29 is content of speeches. And if you see the inference here, is when you are doing debates and all these things until we are taking a decision, you cannot come and then put that decision during the same session. Going to emanate from questions that have been asked for. But equally, if it is wrong, we have been doing the wrong thing, we should be bold enough to correct it. Yeah? Our problem now, myself and my table office, we are in the same boat. Because if you look at the inference, it's on the speech, it's on the content of speeches. That's where this falls under. So these are issues that we must make a determined temporal to come in. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Can I have honorable? Then after him, honorable member for.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, by looking at 3, it says it shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question upon which the Assembly has taken a decision during the current session. It's not written.
Actually, we have not reached that stage. Is this applicable to this one? Is what we want to find out. You see, you sometimes don't listen. We are in the same boat, but you listen also. Then you now go into the nitty-gritties. As you are saying, yes, honorable member for Opasalo.
Yes, in fact, I just want to further tell you that, in fact, the whole process was actually flawed, because if you look at section 52, clause 52 of the motions here, notice of motions 2, all notices shall be signed by the president, minister, committee of chairperson, or member proposing the motion. I have not seen the member handwritten.
That's true, this thing. It's not all motions. You know, but honorable members, what I have said, I think you've all understood. I may allow you last. So, honorable members, let's get the thing straight. It's not bad for honorable members to observe and make us realize that we are going out of our own laws. It's not bad. That will help us. The second thing is, the relevant portion, we have different views on it. That's what is there. Now, what I said actually was, while we will do our consultations with, because we also have legal people around, while we do our consultations with them, we will either withhold it or do as we used to do until we have that decision done. But equally, even if we hold it now, there is another way that we can do it. We either amend the previous one, put up something to amend the motion, or we have another directive given by the plenary. Motion. So these are it. That's why we are on. Now, the honorable member who was shouting at the back, who was he?
Motion.
Huh?
I have a motion.
Sabak Sanyal, yes?
Motion.
Yeah.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I have a motion on the motion 53K. And I would like to refer the Assembly to Standing Orders 109, matters of joint concerns.
Honorable, if it is not a point of order, we have a motion to dispose of. You cannot have another motion again.
Then allow me to learn.
No, I mean, if it is another thing, honorable, we cannot have two motions. We are dealing with a motion that we have to resolve. Let's either throw it out or this thing, then we allow another motion to come in.
I'm coming on the same motion, Honorable Speaker, then.
You said you have a motion.
No, I'm withdrawing that now, coming to the same motion. I believe that the Assembly is not doing anything wrong to flouts our rules. Because if you look at motion standing orders 53, which says motions which may be made without notice. The Honorable Member for Central Badibu made a motion under 53K, which you allowed him to do. Now he is making another motion under the same 53K to rescind that decision, and which requires no notice. The initial motion was under 53K, which requires no notice. He is now coming up with the same 53K, which requires no notice, to withdraw his motion.
Honorable Member for Sabak Sanya, I think you have cleared the air for everybody. Because the motion was moved invoking clause 53K. And it's based on that I gave permission for him to do it. So that cannot fall under any order besides that motion. For now, I'm ruling that the motion put in place is in order, as permitted by me, invoking clause 53K by the Honorable Member, and it has been put to you and passed. Further engagements on this will be done with the relevant these things, and then we will advise ourselves better tomorrow. So this thing, yeah, honorable member, nominated member, you are talking about certain inclusions. Time, yes. Is it only time? Honorable nominated member, Keba.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Your concern is only time.
It's only time. But if you permit me just 30 seconds, I just want to say something. Honorable Speaker, what I want you to include to the text that you'll be giving the legal team is to ask whether 53K can delve into decisions of the Parliament. Yes, the Honorable Member is right that the Honorable Member for Central Badibu rose on 53K for his initial motion, and to rescind it also, he rise on 53K. But my question now is, when the initial motion was passed, Parliament made a decision. And if you look at 29.2, Honorable, if I can, Honorable. No, I just want to wrap.
No, Honorable.
I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, please. I have taken a decision on this. And I have further directed that we will engage with the technical people.
Yes, but that is only on the timetable.
Please. If a speaker's decision is also not correct, for instance, so please, can we have the honorable member?
Thank you.
If you have included all of your concerns to be added, please.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I thank the honorable members for adding their inputs to the motion. I rise on the same 53K to make amendment by adding 3 months, giving them 3 months. That means to report to this House by next session in June.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, thank you.
Honorable Speaker.
To the motion. Yes.
Upon that, we will not be able to.
Don't answer to people.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable Speaker, since the issue of security has been adversely mentioned with regards to this situation, and we are living in constituencies in districts, and we have been seeing cases going to motion in concern, because it's very important.
There is no need for the Committee of Security to be involved. They can look at security matters without the Committee of Security being involved. These are all cross-cutting issues. If you do it that way, all others will be involved. The key stakeholders are agriculture and environment. So let them investigate into all the concerns raised by honorable member. If you want to go into the small, every small bit it involves this one, you go there, you are going to have a whole committee, 3, 4, 5 committees coming together. Please. Honorable, any seconder for his motion? Yes, honorable member.
Point of order. Honorable Speaker, point of order. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded by the honorable member for Central Badibu, be amended to include the time limit of 3 months. That's those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Honorable Speaker.
Answer to anybody if you are not standing on something. You must tell me what you want. A point of order, an observation, whatever. There is no way you observe the procedures. Petroleum. Honorable Clerk, can we proceed?
Questions for oral answers. Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy.
May I now the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy to take the podium. Questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 024 of 2025 by the honorable member for Upper Salu.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, the government of the Gambia through NAWEC have been engaged in various electricity and water expansion projects for the past 7 years. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy provide this August Assembly with the major achievements on the national grid and its expansion across the communities, especially in rural Gambia, as well as water supply expansion in various communities?
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, the government under the leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow have prioritized the development of the energy sector since assuming office in 2017. Honorable Speaker, the government, with the support of our bilateral and multilateral partners, is implementing a number of projects through NAWEC to increase access to electricity countrywide and to modernize and modernize the transmission and distribution infrastructure. Prior to the recent commissioning of the 225 kV high voltage distributed power at the same level, voltage level, 33 kV, causing system instability and high technical losses. The lines are too long and subjected to loads beyond the capacity. The 5 kV line will allow NAWEC to evacuate energy from the present 50 megawatts capacity to over 150 megawatts. Honorable Speaker, the new 225 existing 33 kV lines, which will create system redundancy and reliability. The commissioning of the 225 kV, the 33 kV lines and related substations will provide system stability, voltage quality for customers, and reduce technical losses. The National Control Center allows system operators to read and operate remotely the loads and can switch on and off the breakers without physically visiting. The commissioning and operationalization of the center allows the operators to operate 8 primary substations remotely. This will assist in identifying faults on real-time basis and enhance management of the network. Honorable Speaker, I am happy to report that NAWEC is currently implementing a number of electricity access projects to provide access to over 800 communities in all regions, and some of these projects will be commissioned by May-June 2025. However, an additional 250 communities have been identified across the country for electrification, and the bids are currently being evaluated. These access projects are going to improve the livelihoods of our people, and thus I commend the vision and commitment of His Excellency the President towards the energy sector.
Thank you very much. I think the answer was comprehensive, and I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Honorable, but I need to go further because he also talked about water, so I need to continue. Honorable Speaker, in respect to rural communities,
the honorable member said he's fine with your answers. Yes? Yes, Honorable Member Fulantikuna.
There is an issue there. The Honorable Minister did not finish reading his questions, and the Honorable Member got up.
Who told you that?
The question is not for him.
Who told you that?
This is what the Minister said.
How to his questions?
The Minister said there are two sections, electricity and water. He only talked about the electricity before talking about the water. The Honorable Member got up. So Minister's reply is not in fact finished.
Honorable Minister, you have not finished your response.
There are two components to his question. So,
Honorable Minister, have you finished your response?
No, no, sir.
Okay, then finish it up.
Okay. Thank you, honorable members. Let me just continue on the second part of his question, which has to do with water. In respect to rural communities, NAWEC's intervention in water supply is in the provincial growth centers. The following are ongoing or planned water supply improvements: drilling of boreholes in Farafenye, Saba, and Mansakonko, as well as laying pipes to convey water from these boreholes to existing NAWEC treatment plants. This has been done under the World Bank funded JAM project, which is the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Monetization Project, and it will help to augment the current water production in these areas to better meet the demand. In the year 2025, we have plans to drill, equip, and commission a borehole in Kauru, and will also reinforce the existing distribution network. 2 newly drilled boreholes in 2024 at Jufre and Janjambre will be equipped and commissioned to provide additional production capacity and resilience to water supply in these communities. Additionally, there will be improvements to the distribution network of Jufre. Under the JAM project, a pilot borehole was drilled, tested, and confirmed feasible for riverbank filtration. This is to be able to supply water free of iron to the community of Bansan. Therefore, the Giraffe project will drill 4 boreholes along the riverbank and run transmission lines to supply water to the community of Bansan, to Bansan treatment plant. As part of the same project, the treatment plant will be rehabilitated, upgraded, and these efforts will greatly help eliminate the current issues with elevated levels of iron. The French Development Agency funded WASIP project will pilot deep sand aquifer boreholes, and one of them will be in the Serakunda water treatment plant. The borehole will supplement the current production capacity. A new groundwater reservoir will also be constructed in Serakunda, and the existing all-elevated tank will be replaced to improve the storage capacity, which will help in maintaining continuous supply during maintenance or breakdowns. The network is being rehabilitated and upgraded to improve water supply delivery. In addition, towards the end of 2024, we had laid main pipes from newly drilled borehole in Nemasu to supply Bundung area and have received positive feedback from these customers. We are currently erecting an elevated tank on the same site in Nemasu under the World Bank JAM project, which will help to provide storage, allowing continuous supply even in the event of pauses in production. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Upper Salem, no supplementary.
No, it's comprehensive. I got what I wanted, actually. Thank you. Yeah.
And do you have anything for any supplementary? Huh? Honorable Member for Basse.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, after hearing your reports regarding the areas of your intervention when it comes to water supply, I have not heard any from URR. And if you could remember, there was a concern which I raised here before regarding water supply in Basse and its surrounding communities. So how far or what are your plans in improving this water supply in Basse and its surrounding communities?
Point of order. Oh, okay. Honorable Member, just be rest assured that the draft project will also consider expansion within the greater Basse area. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Salem, I know Lower Salem you are happy because I heard Kaur.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, which borehole in Kauru will decommission? After saying so, Madonna Mampare follow.
One. One.
Honorable Speaker.
Which borehole in Kauru will be commissioned?
Decommissioned.
Will be decommissioned.
Okay, commission.
Did he say a borehole in Kauru?
Okay, Madonna.
He did not say they will decommission a borehole in Kaur.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, let's get it clear. You are fine. So your question is answered. Pardon?
Honorable Minister, when and how are you going to commission a borehole and where in Kauru?
Honorable Member, the borehole will be in Kauru, and the borehole will be drilled in 2025, and we hope to commission it in 2025. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would want to ask the Minister, there are some villages that are inadvertently out of the project. A few villages in my area. So, do you have
on any of our projects, and we are working with our partners to mobilize the necessary resources to make sure that everyone gets access. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, you know why we had not ruled it out? Your answers were so all-encompassing. Your response opened the floodgate for people to ask questions, and they will be in order. Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Get to execute the money.
Honorable Member, I am surprised that that works are still outstanding. And, when we left last session, we did communicate directly to NAWEC to make sure this is implemented. So if it is not done, I am really surprised and I'm disappointed. But we will make a follow-up with the management of NAWEC. Thank you.
Honorable members, it's 14:12 by my watch. It's time for Zuhri prayers. I think we will adjourn for 30 minutes. Honorable minority and majority leaders. 30 minutes is okay? It's already for 12 after. We'll come back at 14:45. 14:43. Order 3. All right. The House will be suspended until 14:45.